What's up, everybody? It's your boy David and your other boy Scotty, and here we are to talk about Star Trek Discovery.
David, I'm so glad to see you again.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. We had a little mid-season break of our own. Let's call it that.
Yeah, let's call it. We knew there was a Section 31 episode coming, and somehow I just didn't find the time to do a podcast about it.
Well, I mean, 8 episodes. It's like halfway through the season, isn't it?
Fair is fair.
Anyway,
I wish
so this is
Discovery would
episode
take a break.
9 of Discovery Season 2, and it's Project Daedalus.
How do we pronounce that? Is it Daedalus or Daedalus?
Daedalus.
It's
That's how I choose to pronounce it.
Discovery is Daedalus in that we haven't had a Brent Spiner episode yet.
That's fantastic.
Thanks.
This episode was about Miriam, and we finally found out things about her, and then she goes and dies.
Yeah, a little update. We finally got the payoff as to why Miriam had these red dots in her fucking eyes. Which we knew, I mean, we already knew what was going on, but now we got the punchline to the whole joke.
Look, I'm not even worried about the red dots. Okay. We'll just jump right into why I don't like this episode.
I just want to say, at the start of this episode, I'm like, this fucking Miriam looks so stupid, can we please get rid of her?
I don't like when, at the start of an episode,
Yeah.
they start paying attention to a side character and giving us all the backstory that we should have gotten like a season ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I guess that character's dying for this episode.
Yeah.
It's just lazy. It's like, you don't want to do the homework of establishing a character. It's like if Tasha Yar appeared in the episode that she died in. Like, she...
Yeah.
They told us all the backstory about the rape gangs, and they pretended... Like, they acted like there was a relationship with her and Data.
Yeah, because at
And
least...
this died.
Yeah, at least with Denise Crosby, she was in a few episodes, and she got to deliver the rape gang speech at least twice before the episode where she got knocked off.
Yes. But in this case, we knew absolutely nothing about Miriam until she was dead.
What is her actual name, by the way? I've been calling her Miriam, but I don't know.
Airiam.
Oh, AirPod.
AI.
So does she charge, like,
Funnily
wireless
AI.
charging, or, like, induction? Does she charge, like, wirelessly, or with those magnet pads, or what?
No, it's USB-C.
Oh, okay, she's right in her coochie.
Yeah.
Jamming it.
So she dies,
Oh, yeah. I'm just checking the
and
notes,
we're all
'cause
meant to be very sad about that.
here's the thing, I want to talk about Project Daedalus, but I need to look at my notes to see what happened in this episode and what happened in the next one, because I can't remember which one was which. Hang on, keep going.
That's fine. I kind of don't remember what happened in this episode. I mean, I watched 2 episodes in a row. I'll admit it right now. I watched the next episode as well.
Yeah.
And so they are a little complicated in my mind, but the main point that I want to bring up about this episode is that why... Because they go to the Section 31 headquarters.
Yeah.
It's abandoned. There's mines. They do some stupid team-building exercise where they all randomly shout out different defense things, and the mines can't predict what's happening or some shit.
Sorry, I'm just remembering which episode this was now.
Yeah. And then they have this whole terminated moment with Miriam.
Yeah.
And I don't think at any point in this episode did anyone say, "Hey, we can't lock onto her because there's interference from the station or something."
Yeah.
They were just acting like they couldn't do anything. Like they're all on the spaceship. They're going, "Oh my god, this is terrible!" So just beam her out of there. What the fuck is going on? She's launched her out into space. Beam her out of space.
Yeah. The moral dilemma was, I can't throw you out the airlock. Our friendship is worth too much. When I would have been instantly, the second things were going south, I'm like, beam the robot to the cargo bay or something. I don't know, just like fucking...
Beam her anywhere on the ship. It doesn't matter if she's an insane robot. You can just beam her anywhere. Like, beam her in the fucking... I don't know, it doesn't matter. Also, just do it. Like, okay, it only requires one sentence in the script. And I'm pretty sure there was no sentence that said, "Oh, the hull is too thick on that old space, on that prison. We can't beam them out," because they could beam them in.
There's so much wrong with this episode. I want to know why Section 31 has a Death Star with a minefield around it.
It's an old prison where they're hosting the AI, surrounded by mines.
It makes me so mad on every level. Every time we find out more about this Section 31 organization, I wish we wouldn't, because it's completely against the point. It's the old James Bond thing of, like, he keeps on telling people what his name is and who he works for, and he drives around in a car that's, like, got rocket launchers. I mean, if you're a secret agent...
Side, yeah.
Aren't real secret agents, like, deadly boring?
Yeah, I like Section 31 when it was just all secret.
Wow.
And that's like 200 years in the future.
Did you
no,
buy...
it's 100 years in the future, yeah?
Did you buy your dog some sort of Echoplex or a reverb kit?
No, what happened is my housemate moved out and she owned 90% of the furniture, so my house is basically empty.
Oh, wow. So now everything...
So, yeah, the dog just reverbs everywhere.
If we want to be doing any music, we should be cutting the tracks in your empty rooms, because hear that reverb? That's a platinum record reverb.
You meant to have a lot of sound dampening. You just do it in post.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the old debate. You know, do you want that Abbey Road Studio 3 sound or Studio 2? I can't remember which one's which. Anyway, sorry. It doesn't matter. There's so much to say about this episode. My first two notes were, Tina's theory is that Burnham's in the red suit. I said that in response to the previously on Discovery part. And I said, if so, I'm going to pour acid onto my hard drive to get rid of every trace of this show. And,
yeah.
I mean, that we don't get a payoff in this episode about that, but that's in the next episode, isn't it? We find out.
Yes, that's in the next episode.
We'll save that
Sorry,
for later.
I'm actually just looking up a recap of this episode because I honestly can't remember anything else. Oh, one thing that annoys me generally about the show is that Tilly is just getting worse and worse.
They're really turning her up.
The first time she appears in every show, it's like, you know, the audience claps and like when the Fonz slides into the shot or when Kramer like bursts into the apartment.
It's even making me... My hatred of her is bleeding off onto Pike now, because his sole role on the show is to say every time Tilly walks in, "Can I help you with something?" while she's stumbling through her sentences. She's like, "Oh, well, I thought maybe..." And I... Ensign, can I help you with something? He's done it like 5 times now.
Yeah.
Bump her down to the galley. I want to see her peeling potatoes before I let her on the fucking bridge of my ship again.
Yeah. I hate Admiral Cornwall.
Oh, Corndog, yeah. She's back. I hate her. She's got this... You know, we've already got to listen to fucking Michelle Yeoh stumbling her way through her dialogue. Now we've got Corndog. That's not good. And, I tell you, an early scene in Project Daedalus that I absolutely hated was Burnham. No contact under any circumstances. Literally, the next shot is she's stumbling on Spock's lie detector test to vouch for Spock. As if her annoying bullshit has any currency. As if a lie detector isn't enough. No, we're going to have Burnham walk in and say, "I know my brother. I blah, 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 blah.
I believe him."
Oh, good. Oh, you believe him? The mutineer? Oh, well, I guess that all is fine then. Fuck off! Shaniqua Martin Green.
Also... Something that annoyed me up to the end of this episode when the character died was how many times those little red lights flashed in her eyes. Every fucking scene that she was in.
Yeah.
For the past 3 episodes has been like,
Yeah. What it was, it's the red lights. It's the red lights from the price scanner gun at the supermarket. They flash a specific.
They showed it too many times.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, especially like, oh, she's about to do something evil. It's just randomly just, oh, yeah, remember that I'm under control of an evil AI or whatever? Yeah.
It did really... What's the opposite of front-loading? I guess back-loading. They just shoved a bunch of Miriam exploitation... Not exploitation.
No, it is exploitation.
There you go, 5 guys lock Miriam in a cabinet and take it... No, I mean... They just shoved all of her backstory. She's watching her gay home videos, you know, of her honeymoon... I guess her husband got killed in the shuttle crash or something. I don't know.
Yeah, could you not show that stuff earlier in the season? I don't care if it's like the start of the season, because, you know, I get that as soon as the new season starts, the whole direction of the show kind of twists around. So that's fine. You can start showing the secondary characters at the start of the season, but you know, at least just spread out a little bit. So I actually have time to care about it, because I didn't care.
Well, it might make her marginally more interesting knowing why she's in a suit, why she's basically Crichton from Red Dwarf. But then again, all of that happening in one episode, not so much.
I could have actually gotten attached to her if she had any sort of important dialogue or anything. Any sort of personable qualities in any episode before this one.
I want to know more about Detmer. At least she kept her hair. I mean, that's... You know.
What's her first name? They said it in this episode.
Detmer?
It's something stupid.
I don't know.
Like Laura or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just looking at the lines that I hated the most. The Federation does not permit the use of mines. I capitalized that because I think that's how they said it in the show. Giving up Pike, giving up our values in the name of security, all this shit.
That scene with the mines really pissed me off.
Yeah.
You know when, we're being attacked by the mines, and Michael Burnham's like, maybe it's a game.
Oh yeah, that shit with Spock in the... She goes to that scene with Spock in the 3D chess, and he winds up shouting his lungs out at her. And it's a game, and he's like, let's play chess.
Let's play chess.
I thought he was just going to say, let's play, which would have been even worse. I don't know how that's possible, but... And then when they're in the minefield, and she's like, oh, wait, this is a game. Maybe we should be random and spook... I mean, I don't know.
And especially the randomness doesn't fucking matter. Look, they're tiny little mines. You're a big ship.
Yeah.
All the mines were hitting them anyway. I don't understand what the point of that was.
It's a fever dream. It's an adult...
Right after she said that, the rest of that scene was them getting hit by mines. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, they're no longer writing these shows. I think they're just pulling it out of like an AI deep dream. You know, it's read all of the Star Trek scripts, and so it just spits out this nonsense. To get through the minefield, we have to, be unpredictable and turn our shields off. What the fuck? If there are any kind of decent mines, I'll just blow up.
I mean, they did blow up.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Yeah, I don't understand any of that, because... Yeah, and then they get there and they beam down and... everything about it. And in the final scene, when Michael Burnham's trying to save Miriam...
Yeah.
That whole time, Commander Nanbread is over there choking to death, and they just didn't pay any attention to her.
Commander Nanbread. Well, she got her ventilator ripped out or something. Was that it?
Yeah, and then Michael Burnham's just sitting there staring at the airlock going, oh, Airiam, can you not do this? It's like, just go help the other person. She's dead. She's dead now. It's your fault.
There was a scene I really hated where Stamets and Spock... it's soap opera garbage, I wrote down. You know, he's like... Spock, did you know Burnham really loves you? And then Spock, who hasn't been here that long and doesn't know who any of these people are, is like, well, you know, Dr. Culber, maybe he doesn't hate you after all. He's just moving out because he needs some time. I was like, what the fuck is this? I don't give a fuck.
That guy.
I like scenes about Stamets and Culber where they're talking to each other because that's relevant. But when Spock is trying to give Stamets a pep talk, yeah, no, it just
Spock to have a little bit more humor. Like, his character is like, you know, he has a little bit of sarcasm and stuff.
Yeah. No, I actually don't 100% hate the Spock in this show.
I don't hate him, but it's like...
The shouty scenes I'm not such a fan of, but he's not a bad actor. But he's got to lose the beard, and I also want to know why he's a Leatherman. Give him a fucking uniform already, please. I can't stand these guys running around looking like a bunch of rejects from Crusade, the Babylon 5 spin-off.
Yeah, alright.
That's my yardstick for this fucking show at the moment.
Babylon 5. Alright.
Oh, yeah. Let's deactivate helmets.
Oh, you don't like the little helmets that fold into the back of the...
Surprisingly...
Well, I mean, they'd have to carry their helmets around otherwise. What are they...
I'm sure there's like a helmet belt. You can just hang the helmet from your belt or something. I don't know. Anything... Here's the thing. Here's one you probably don't know about. In the animated series, they had just special shield suits that came from a belt. They push a button, a yellow shield goes around the character. That's it. They can go anywhere they want. Yeah. I'd be just as happy with that instead of these ridiculous shiny spacesuits that just don't look like anything.
Yeah. Sorry, I just looked up the recap for the next episode.
Yeah.
And the first review has 1 star and the second review has 4.5 stars.
Wait, for this episode or the next one?
The next one.
Good. I really like at the scene where they found out Patar, the Vulcan admiral, is dead. Hey, if Patar is dead, who was I talking to? And meanwhile, there's a dead Vulcan on the screen. Which is very, very good comedy. What else? And the heat signature thing being the giveaway. Oh, turns out the heat signature would have changed if she was pissed off, but it didn't, so she must be a hologram. And then they go, hey, it also works on the Spock surveillance camera footage. I get what they're trying to do, but it's such a hokey thing.
Why did they include the heat signature layer of that video?
I don't know. I guess surveillance cameras in the future record in all wavelengths in case...
it's in the metadata.
Yeah. I don't know. Fuck. I guess it helps. There was a frozen Andorian that looked especially crispy and yummy. Especially, I can't even talk anymore because I hate the show so much.
Crack off his little antenna and just have a bite, yeah.
Without a doubt, my favourite part of this show was about 44 minutes to 45 minutes. Burnham getting the shit kicked out of her and making a lot of very funny noises.
The choreography again was garbage. I think it's just the people actually performing it.
Fight.
Whenever Michael Burnham has to fight.
I think fight choreography is one of these things that people assume should be getting better, but just isn't. Because, I don't know, maybe a lot of these martial arts people have never actually watched two people try to kill each other, or maybe they just don't think about it. But it's just so...
Well, whatever that fight was a few episodes ago, who was it? Oh, it was,
Michelle
Ash
Yeoh?
Tyler versus, Culber.
Yeah.
That was alright.
Well, it was decent, but I don't know. Maybe it depends on the context. But...
They actually need a reason to fight each other.
And just the hilarious thing about that fight scene was how they both had head-mounted cameras. So on the Discovery Bridge, they're both watching them kill each other via head cams. It's very, very funny. And then there's
Fighting me, yeah.
all we can do is watch. And again, nobody's beaming anybody out of the... Like, I just beam them both to the brig.
Just beam more people over. I don't know, anything.
And something else I wrote down. I hate to rely too much on the notes, but this is a mush because I watched 2 episodes in succession. This show, for all of its glitz and glamour and high production values and how it's supposed to look better than any Trek before, still gets very hokey at times, where she's kind of like, I can't open the door! And even though it doesn't look like it, it still feels like Star Trek, where there's with cardboard walls and foam props everywhere. It felt the same watching Burnham try and get through the door. Damn it, I can't get in!
I mean, it was a prison ship.
Yeah.
It was a prison. Of course, the doors are going to be very hard to get through.
Tilly trying to sentimental Miriam out of the crisis. Hey, it's me, Miriam. Tilly, I'm sending you a favorite memory, blah, 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 all that stuff. Very, very terrible. But, again, and it was such a serious, emotional scene, and there was moments where I almost felt it was getting to me, but then it's like Miriam's, with a very loud McDonald's drive-thru voice, I have disabled my helmet. I won't survive in space. Oh, like.
Why would you say that? Why would you say that when you're trying to convince Michael Burnham to press the button? Like, that's the worst thing you could say. She should say, I'm putting my helmet back on.
And, yeah, just Burnham being like, where's Project Daedalus? And then whoosh, Miriam's gone. And Burnham's like this at the window. Very funny. Again, they keep injecting these comedic moments and it just sabotages the show, because I couldn't take it seriously.
I just hate the show now. I don't know.
I've found new levels of hatred for this program.
Every choice that they're making is just pissing me off. And,
and it screws us up, because we want a podcast about Star Trek, and we decided to start with Discovery because it's current. It makes it impossible for us, because people who hate the show as much as we do aren't going to watch a podcast about it. And people who like the show aren't going to watch two guys constantly saying how bad it is. It fucks us up. You know what I mean?
Well, they might do.
Oh, I don't know. I mean,
hey,
are there that many people out there?
Just get mad at us. Look, if you want to just come on and give us downvotes and get mad at us, that's great. Just watch it.
I would actually take criticism and arguments, because at least it would be something to talk about. This show, and I actually did. I will say that I did like the end, how the robot plays itself its favorite home video so that it doesn't notice it's dying. That was almost
No, it's too ham-fisted.
After the rest of this shit.
It was beef-fisted. Oh, exactly! Because it's the same shit that they showed at the start. Like, set it up from the very beginning of the episode. It was like, this is a memory of the robot. They're going to talk about all her memories a whole lot throughout this entire episode, and then right at the end, they're going to have the robot playing the memory again.
Yeah. I guess. I don't want
to talk about this episode. Let's go to the next episode.
Before we go to the next episode, I want to talk to you about another episode of Star Trek. It's not really an official episode of Star Trek, but it's a comic book with an included, I don't know what you would call this, LP, long play, short play, I don't know. This record here, you listen to this and it acts out the story for you. It's very good stuff. And in the comic, you get some very handsomely drawn artwork. It's very good. It's called, damn it, it's too bright for the camera to record, but I just wanted to point out something very funny. In this comic, Uhura is white and blonde. You guys can't see it, but
When did that come out?
Oh, it's in the 70s, I think. Damn, the camera's too bright. I'm gonna have to, like, fucking upload some scans now. I don't know. Oh, there's a bit of upskirt from White Uhura. See that?
Jeez.
You guys like what you see? Yeah. Classic, yeah.
Why
Star Trek
Do
Passage
you think
to
nobody
Morale.
was going to notice? Is it actually her, or is it...
They call her Uhura.
Maybe it's like a title that's passed on.
Anyway, so I'm going to change the text at the bottom and maybe wear a different t-shirt, and then we'll start another episode of Federation Conversation.
I'm not getting up.
I'm very angry about this show. I don't like it anymore. I really loved it.
No, you didn't.
I don't know. Before we talk about the next episode, I want to ask you a question, a serious question. Yep. Should we get our hopes up for it getting any better when Kurtzman leaves, or, I mean, did we read him wrong? And he like, what's going to happen?
I don't know how much specific the bad about this season is him, because there were plenty of bad shit in the first season as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. You just hope that whatever changes they make in the third season will make it better.
Well, Discovery, a show. This is what a show will be like if you squander all of your potential and make every wrong choice deliberately, whenever you can, instead of going with what could improve the show. And that
they're not making every wrong choice, but it's like...
I think they are. I think Pike was the last good choice they made.
Okay, the thing that annoys me very specifically about this episode is the fact that they just kind of lumped it all into one episode. And it's like, if you're writing a show...
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it just like show writing 101 that you give a little more than 40 minutes for a character? They're basically a new character because they've never talked to her before, ever.
Not meaningfully, yeah.
Give them at least more than 40 minutes of exposition before you kill them and have everyone be really sad about it.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. That should just be script writing 101.
No, this is some incredibly poor writing, and there's more examples in the next episode, which we'll get to in a sec. I just, one last thing. I've probably complained about it before, but in closing, I hate the trope of whenever there's something happening on the bridge, Helm and navigation will look around meaningfully as something to cut to. Like, Detmer will smirk, and Owinishongo will look around and look proud or something, I don't know. You ever notice?
You're being racist?
I can't remember her name. But you know what I mean? The Helm and the other members of the bridge crew, for some reason, they think, oh, we need to break up the visuals here. What do we... We'll have them looking meaningfully at the camera, kind of, you know. I hate that fucking trope. That trope can die.
At least we know more about them. Look, if Detmer dies in the next episode, not the next episode we're talking about, we've already seen it, but the one afterwards.
Yeah. It
should have been Detmer in that suit. Anyway. Let's go to the next episode.
Alright, so that was Federation Conversation for this episode.
That was the Daedalus project.
And we'll be coming back very shortly with, what do you call it? What's the next one called? I need to write it down.
The Red Angel.
The Red Angel, gotcha. Bye-bye, everybody.
See ya.